It is a brand new radio concept called Everything Film. Agencyclick presenting Everything Film with Film Robot on BNN Bloomberg 1410 AM, also at 103.5 FM HD3. I'm Joe Leary, along with Patrick Scheltgen, who is my co-host for this program, and also the founder of Agencyclick. We've been talking about doing this for a while, Patrick. Now we're live.
And you know what? I think it's fantastic, Joe. I'm just so happy to be part of this. I think it's undervalued, the film industry in Vancouver, and we need to talk about it. We need to get the word out there to people and understand how valuable it's been. We got Netflix, HBO, everything coming into our own backyard.
I don't know if every place across Canada that does film production calls themselves Hollywood North, but I mean, we truly are Hollywood North.
It's risen beyond that.
Yeah, it has. But a lot of people, obviously, because we're in the middle of, we're hopefully we're getting towards the end of the pandemic, but we're still involved in it. But everything was shuttered. Businesses, and certainly the film production was shuttered, and people fled back to their home countries and that. But from what I understand, we're kind of getting back to production being at a pretty decent level, at least here in the Lower Mainland.
Well, you know, it's interesting you say that because the rumor has been that they're going to be doubling productions on all the shows that are filming in Vancouver because they have to catch up. Safety precautions, of course. We have to do that. They're doing temperature checks. There's people in. The last rumor I had is all the Legend series, all the all the series that we have right now,
like Supergirl and Batwoman and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like a Lois and Superman. Sure. There's some new series that started, and Riverdale's like season 6, right?
And what's going to be interesting, Patrick, is it's going to be quite a bit of a trick to try and film socially distant and observing the protocols, because I know that, like, love scenes, I'm a big fan of Coronation Street. I've been watching Coronation Street forever.
Yeah.
And when they started refilming, they were saying that they've found trick photography ways to, though you and I may be 6 feet apart, on screen we look a lot closer together based on how the cameras are set up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's going to be a challenge.
Well, you know what? One of our biggest productions right now is The Good Doctor. And The Good Doctor is, they've gone with the unions. They've actually gone and done all the agreements. And The Good Doctor is going to start filming again. And, you know, my joke is that they already have the mask. They're already fine, right? And it's like what a perfect show to start up with. And they've found a home in Vancouver. And this is a big deal for Vancouver. The economy depends on it. There's a lot of money at stake. I don't think people realize that it's not millions, it's millions of millions that comes into the economy in Vancouver, and it's very important.
You've got it on Agencyclick presenting Everything Film with Film Robot, filmrobot.com. You can also check out Agencyclick at Agencyclick on social media. Joe Leary, along with Patrick Scheltgen, who is the founder of Agencyclick. Okay, what's Agencyclick?
Well, you know, it's interesting because I get that question a lot, but we've been here for 20 years, right? And I mean, we were there at the inception of when technology had to, in the year 2000, when technology was meeting, the demand of, we didn't have everything then. So we built programming, and I'm a programmer from, you know that, Joe. I've been a programmer and development and software guy, software engineer. But I was so attracted to the film industry, and what happens is that the whole technology started to, when we started, people were just doing photos. They were doing Polaroids to casting directors. So I said, wow, what an opportunity to put this on the web, right? So, you know, after 20 years of doing that, we have over 100,000 photos, right? People, just images, and it's been a long journey.
So, again, these are called background performers. These are people that appear in scenes, be it in a shopping mall or in a wedding in a church or wherever it may be. And I guess the producers or the productions call for very specific types of people. Like if you're doing a Ukrainian wedding or something, you want people in traditional costume or whatever it may be. So they then go to agencyclick.com and these people are. Am I signing up for your services? And let's say I want to be a background performer. Am I sending my stuff to you and you're posting this? How does the concept work?
Well, there's two things that I will say to that. The first one is that the whole thing of background performers or like being in the background, but many people have made a career out of this. And when they're looking for like a 35-year-old belly dancer that has tattoos on her left arm,
or a middle-aged broadcaster with great hair, or whatever it may be, right?
No, but it's phenomenal because that's where you need to go. And like, this is like, there's so much information and like, the power of the web. Everybody knows that, but this is where you go. We're the largest. We have the most photos of any company, anybody doing this in North America. We're working with Amazon Web Services now, and they even called us and said, "Holy crap, you guys have a lot of photos, and we are the largest database for that." So I throw it out to people that if you have a skill, you could be like a unicycle guy juggling. You know what I mean? Like it's interesting that. Like, how does anybody know that?
So how specific then would your requirements be? Like if I let's say I'm a unicycling juggler.
Yeah.
That's probably something that maybe down the road there might be a need for that in a production somewhere. So these are qualities that I would say I'm capable of doing, or functions I'm able to perform, and that would then get into the database. So all of a sudden people would just scan this, and is that how it works?
Oh no, it actually even works stronger then, because I think that like how does anybody know about you if you don't promote yourself?
Right.
And we have a lot of how Agencyclick works is we have a lot of strong agencies. There's over 32 agencies right now operating, working really hard for their clients, right? And they take a percentage, but you know what? It's very valued. I recommend like right now, if you feel like you have you can get into the industry, that you check out agencyclick.com. You go on there, and it's not expensive. There's no hidden fees. There's nothing like that. And there are people looking for people just like people that are out there, and there's fantastic people. Vancouver, Toronto is our focus right now.
So. Is there too young an age? Is there too old an age? Or does it span every generation?
Absolutely. You know what? It's performers are performers. And I know that there's people that can sing, there's people that can dance, there's people that have skills, but how do you tell people? Mm-hmm. And I think Agencyclick is the vehicle to do that, right?
Right.
So
you mentioned this has been around for 20 years. So let's go back 20 years. So we're talking 2000.
Yeah.
The film industry was pretty vibrant at that time, and I think we were talking prior to the show today, Patrick, but I think it was probably 21 Jump Street that just blew this thing wide open. It made Vancouver the focus because it was a hot show with a hot young cast on the then Fox network, which was a hot new network, and it was just everything just seemed to work together. It really gelled.
Well, it's actually interesting you say that, Joe. And one of the things that I think was a catalyst was the X-Files.
Yeah.
And people forget about that. There's still a following today. That is a cult.
Yeah.
And that was in Vancouver for, I think, what was it, 7 seasons?
Oh,
maybe 8. Maybe 8.
Until David Duchovny got pissed off at the rain in Vancouver.
Yeah, he didn't like.
The production back home.
Yeah, right. So I would say that one. And then people don't know that. Like Johnny Depp lived here for 5 years. He had an apartment right downtown Vancouver. He had to live here, and it was early in his career. And then look what happened to him. Look at his career.
I have a funny little Johnny Depp story I want to share with you. So years and years ago, I was moonlighting as a club DJ at the Avalon Hotel in North Vancouver, in a place called the LA Tavern. And I was watching 21 Jump Street, and one night I see Johnny Depp come walking in, and he sits down, and I'm DJing, I can't move at the time, and I see the waitress come over, and she says something to him, and all of a sudden he gets up and leaves, and I call her over, and I said, what was that about? She goes, he wasn't meeting the dress code. The dress code was no jean jackets, and he was wearing a jean jacket.
Yes.
I'm going, that's Johnny Depp. She goes, what's a Johnny Depp? I go, well, you'll find out one day. Sure enough. But it was funny because that brought such a buzz to this city. And you're right, it was 21 Jump Street that kind of started and opened the door. X-Files just blew it wide open, and we're still there. I mean, I'm not really up on like Supergirl and Batwoman and Riverdale and things like that, but there's a really vibrant community here.
Oh,
so I'm
absolutely.
guessing you're doing great business.
Well, you know what? You know what's interesting is one of the things that you have to say is that it's the American dollar comes into play.
Of course.
And we had a downtrend. It was about 2002 where the American dollar and they didn't want to come and they canceled productions. And I literally think that was the end of X-Files, all that. Like, why don't we just stay in Hollywood? Now, right, it's 30% on the dollar. We're back. I firmly believe that the film industry in Vancouver is going to be stronger than I have. We have 9 studios now? 9 studios. They're opening up in Victoria. There's a Victoria studio that's just they're building. So we're prepping for like an onslaught.
Well, first of all, we have to put everything in perspective. You're right. It was the Canadian dollar that was the real attraction initially, and it still is, certainly, because of the disparity between the two currencies. But I remember when Smallville was shooting here, and I remember the thought, well, I interviewed one of the producers, and he was saying the fact is, like, if you go to Chilliwack and shoot south, it can pass for Kansas.
Yes.
You have
yes.
the terrain here. You can if you want to shoot north, you've got mountains that could be the Alps. You've got golfing basically year round. Yeah, it rains a lot here and it's overcast a lot, but it's basically climate-wise, it kind of works on all levels.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So again, if somebody out there has not availed themselves yet of the film industry, which I would say is probably, I mean, next to tourism. I mean, this is an odd year on all fronts.
Yeah.
But next to tourism, I would say the film industry is probably the second biggest, if not the biggest, industry that the province has to offer.
Absolutely.
So explain the process once again for somebody that's listening to this program and they want to get involved in background performing. It's Agencyclick. So what exactly do I do? Walk me through the steps here, Patrick.
Well, you know what? I think that people need to understand that it is a job, and you are working, but it's a job you can get into quite easily. If you go to our website, if you go to agencyclick.com right now, there's tons of agents. You can go as an independent. You can like we don't owe anybody anything. Mm-hmm. You can be part of the film industry quite quickly. New faces, new looks. Everybody wants new people.
So I'm guessing then that can include everything. Like if you're facially tattooed, if you're facially pierced. I mean, obviously at some point in some production, somewhere along the line, an agency or a studio is going to say that's what we need.
If a person has a face tattoo, they could probably basically work full time.
Yeah, really.
Oh, absolutely. Well, why wouldn't you? It's like like the shows. They go, you're in a bar scene. You're here. Like that person is in high demand.
Is there, other than that, is there anything in demand right now? Is there like an abundant? I mean, do you have, when I said earlier, and you said that the range is everything from a newborn baby to a person in their 90s, is there sort of a lack right now of something? Are older people still able to immerse themselves in the film?
Absolutely. You know what? If you look at any movie, you have people in the background, you have people in the foreground. People have come from the background to the foreground. Mm-hmm. It's interesting because I've seen many people make a career of this.
Right.
And they've built themselves. So I don't want to downplay it that, you're in the background and
no.
You know what I mean? It's it's amazing that there's this a lot of work and it's undervalued. It's undervalued.
In my experiences, having been on film sets, only ever there to do interviews with celebrities, but it's a lot of sitting around and waiting. You're compensated well for your work.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're fed.
Yeah.
Win-win.
Well, how about this as a thought, Joe? You're a good-looking person. You're doing right, and if you want to, and what they really look for, new faces and reliability.
Right.
Show up.
Yeah.
Go to set.
Right.
Do your job. And you know what? There's people right now. I can tell you, there are people making $100,000 a year off Agencyclick.
Are you
I
serious?
know that. Absolutely. There are guys. They're union.
Right.
They're union,
Right.
and there's different. And I don't want to elaborate on that. The UBCP has done a fantastic job. They support the performers in Vancouver, and I can't say enough about UBCP. How they've actually put people in a position to succeed, and they're part of our website as well. They have an account, and they bring us business all the time. They bring people. They bring, we're all about putting good people on set.
You've got it on BNN Bloomberg 1410 AM, also 103.5 FM, HD3. Agencyclick presents everything film with Film Robot. Joe Leary along with Patrick Scheltgen, who is the founder of Agencyclick. And again, you can go to agencyclick.com, 778-819-1982. Sign up to connect with cast and thousands of premiere performers. Post your casting requests and film bookings. And again, we don't know the specifics, Patrick, because we're all in this uncertain period with the COVID-19. But we know that production has resumed following the safety protocols provided by, the BC Health Ministry. And people might think, oh, there's no point in me trying to do this now because it ain't happening. Yeah, it's happening. It's back. It's back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? And Joe, I'm going to tell you straight up, the COVID pandemic is something that the film industry has taken very seriously. This is not something that people take lightheartedly. Mm-hmm. And they're doing temperature checks when you're on, like, the people that are on set. And my feeling is they're actually doing rewrites to, like, make the crowd scenes a little bit less.
Sure.
Like, why wouldn't you, right? Like, I mean, they're being smart about it. This is a responsible industry. We have Netflix that has invested millions of dollars in Vancouver. 3 or 4 of their top shows are filmed in Vancouver. And I don't think people realize that Netflix, HBO, they're invested.
And you know what, Patrick? I think the best thing that happened to Netflix was COVID-19.
Yeah.
Because we were told to stay home and basically quarantine ourselves. And that's the reason why Tiger King and Joe Exotic became celebrities. And
oh, absolutely.
Ozark. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is called Everything Film. It is presented by Agencyclick with Film Robot, filmrobot.com, and agencyclick.com. This is BNN Bloomberg, 1410 AM, 103.5 FM, HD3.